Hello and welcome back to Gasholes Garage. I'm Jeremy. I'm here by myself today. This is my personal garage. It's a little two-car garage. Um, so we've hit a little bit of a snag on putting a video out this week due to editing problems. So I thought I would just explain to you why I'm doing this. So I used to do, street racing back in the day. I was into RX-7s. Those were my things. Good buddy of mine was into Hondas. He put, his VTEC system into his car. And it was a nice machine. So I always, knew that the Honda engine was good. So with that being said, come years later, all this now is my wife's fault. See, when we first got together, wanted to do something really special for me for Christmas. So she got me the exotic racing experience out in Fontana. Now they no longer do it there because it stopped from COVID, but they still do it in Vegas, same company. So you can actually go there and drive these badass, expensive ass cars just for a few $100s. I couldn't highly recommend this more to anybody that's a car guy. I always liked the idea of it, but I never would have bought it for myself. It's one of those things where it just seems frivolous to me, but once she did this for me, I just can't even imagine anything else. She's gotten for me every year since, and I absolutely love her for it. So the thing about it is, for those who don't know, you get to go and race an exotic car around a track, something that you may never get to do in your entire life. And what she did was, my wife's motto is go big or go home. So she didn't want to get me even just the cheap Porsche or the cheap Mustang or even a Ferrari Lamborghini. She picked the most expensive ass car that was there, which is called an XLR. This car is basically a NASCAR that's made to go right and left. So I knew nothing about this. I get the track, blah, 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 blah. I have no idea what I'm doing. Like I said, I used to race, but that's in a straight line, not curves, A fast car is for a straight line. Curves are for a fast driver. And here's the difference, So she picked this car, the baddest there is. I've never done this before. I show up, and the instructor, you check in. Everyone has this meeting where they have these drivers, tell you how to go around the track. Well, I check in, and my actual guy that rides along with you, because every single car has somebody that rides along with you. My guy that rides along with me said, hey, you're not going in that meeting with the drivers. You're coming with me. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I've never done this before. So he was like, yeah, you're coming with me. So I go with him. All the other people that are racing go into this room. They only get a helmet, and that's about it. That's all they get. And some training, just talking about it. But my particular guy is like, you're going with me. Or whatever. So I go sit with him, and he explains to me the whole track one-on-one. Phenomenal experience. Sits down with me, explains every single aspect of it. The whole track, how it goes around. Then, everyone else only gets a helmet. I had a full body suit, whole damn suit, fire protection, shoes, full on everything that could be put on me. So here's where it gets interesting. My particular car has the lowest horsepower out of all the cars in there. You got Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Porsches, McLarens, Hellcats. You got all these badass cars. I'm driving the lowest horsepower car there. But the trick of it is, it's basically a NASCAR. So it's just a tube frame with a shell over it, and the power to weight ratio on this car was absolutely insane. So I show up, we're in there, we're in the car, he walks me around the car, shows me everything. Now, the coolest thing about exotic racing, for those people who don't know, I couldn't highly recommend it. In fact, bring your family, bring your kids, because you're allowed to take your kids in with you as long as you sign, their little release form, and your kids can walk up and sit in a McLaren. They can sit in the Ferrari. They can sit in a Lamborghini. Something I was never even dreamed of doing as a kid in my entire life. They can just walk up and sit in any of these cars that they want. And the biggest smile on my kids' faces I've ever seen. Like 2 or 3 times later after I had done this, my son actually had a Lego McLaren. And now I have a picture of him in a McLaren with his Lego McLaren. I mean, that's a priceless picture you can't even make up. It grinned from ear to ear. He absolutely loved it. So, like I said, it's a family-oriented event. You start off, first of all, they do the drivers, blah, 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 blah. They were all in their meeting. I was with my meeting. But then you have to go for 2 laps with basically in a Porsche, the Porsche SUV. And there's a professional driving instructor in it. And then there's like 3 of us other people in the car with him. And the first lap of this, the professional driving instructor drives around the track at a relatively slow speed. And he's basically telling you how to take all these turns back and forth, telling you about what the apex means. And what the apex means is to, cut the corners, how to move in and out of the track. So he's just teaching you how to run it. But the second lap, he actually takes it in this Porsche SUV at full speed. And you all are just, leaning over and over, and it's a fun ass time. Now the coolest thing is, it's a little expensive to do all this, but say your family member wants to go on this exact spot, going in the, the training in the SUV for only $20. They could ride along with you and get a little bit of the experience of what it is to go around in this track. And that's the best bang for the buck you're going to get. So I recommend, if this is like your one shot at doing this, pick your dream car. Go get the Lamborghini that you want, or the Porsche that you want, or the Ferrari that you want. I mean, I've gone there and done the EXR. I've done multiple Porsches. I've done Ferraris. I've done them, multiple cars there. McLarens. I love it. But, if this is your one shot, if this is all you're ever going to do, pick your dream car. But if you think for even a moment that you might want to continue to do this, like maybe just once a year, get the cheapest car. That's what I like to do. I pick the cheapest Porsche there is, and I just learn the track experience. Because the bottom line is, most people are not used to driving a 7, 8, 9, whatever it is, horsepower engine. They just don't know how to handle it. So their whole experience is wasted. So you could either pick, spend the $700 and have 5 laps, in this badass car, which if your dream car one time, that's it. But you could pick the cheaper car and get 20 laps for less money. And then you get experience going around the track. And that's what I love to do. I pick the cheapest damn car there is, which is a Porsche. I think it's a Cayman. And There's nothing better because you're going left and right and you're taking the turns. There is no better experience than to be driving that car, the cheapest car that's there, and you're passing cars with twice the horsepower that your car has, because those people just are scared in the turns. They don't know what they're doing, and it's just too much power for them to handle. So, it's up to you whether you want to take the baddest car or, take more laps. I personally would recommend the more laps. It's so much fun. And the bottom line is, these cars, you can either do the flappy paddle gear shifts, which they recommend, or you can do full automatic. But the thing of it is, most people can't handle this much power. Whenever I go, if I can, I just pick the full-on automatic, and I just concentrate on the turns. I just want to make my lap as best as it can be. That's what I go for. So back to the EXR. So the EXR, like I said, baddest car they have. It's the best of the best of the best. Lowest horsepower. The power to weight ratio is insane on this car. So I'm sitting there and I'm all dressed up. Well, this car is so unpredictable that they actually, normally there's like 5 or 6 cars going around the track at any one time. What they actually did is, because this car is so unpredictable, they clear the track. Nobody's on it for me to start. Well, it has a clutch, but you only have to use it when you start and stop. Other than that, it's just the flappy paddles. Now, this is my first time with the flappy paddle. I've never used it before, but I've used a clutch many times. So they clear the track, and I'm in the car. The guy's next to me. Now, keep in mind, he has a brake pedal if he needs it, and he can reach over and grab the steering wheel, if he needs it. So we're sitting there, and it's finally my time to go. Everyone's off the track, and he says, okay, go for it. I stall in front of freaking everybody that's watching me. They're not on the track. They're just looking at me, laughing their ass off. So, that wasn't going to happen a second time. I shove it into gear, and I gun it the second time. And I'm gone. Gone. Now, the first, as you take off, I've never done this before at all. Never been in a car like this before at all. So I'm going around the track a couple times, and then they start letting people back on the track, so 4 or 5 cars are going around. The first couple laps are them just trying to feel you out and see how things are going with you. So like about the 3rd lap, we come around the corner onto the straightaway, and my instructor just says, all right, go for it. And I'm paddle shifting up, 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 up. Now, I see the end. Now, the end of this particular track at Fontana at the time, it's a hard left at the end. And I mean hard. And there's like a wall behind it. So I'm getting close, and I'm thinking in the back of my mind, soon I'm going to be, I'm going to be slowing down, downshifting, and that'll be it, and turning. As I'm thinking of this, I got a downshift. My instructor says, upshift again, because you're saying upshift, upshift, upshift. He says upshift again. And I'm like, what? What is this guy thinking? But I say, fuck it, upshift, I don't care. I'm going like a bat out of hell, straight towards a left, and I mean hard left turn. At the very end, he just says, he just says, hit the brake and crank the wheel. And that's what I did, and I mean this car, boom, straight over. I've never experienced anything like that before. I've never experienced anything like that since. I've driven Ferrari 488s, Porsche GT3s, McLaren, a Hellcat. None of them handled the way that car did. That thing was freaking amazing. I totally want, like, they don't have that car on the track anymore. They don't do it. I so wish they would still bring it back. You know, Fontana actually closed down at because of COVID, and they still have it at Vegas. You know, I mean, right when you pull into Vegas, you see their track off to the side. I couldn't recommend it more. But anyway, I mean, I did all those laps in that car. I don't even know how many it was. Funnest time in my life. I love it. I've done it every single day. I mean, well, not every single day, but every year since. My wife hooks this up. She does it for me. She's an amazing woman. And, you know, she knows that I love racing and she supports it. So my advice to any of you is, if you have any inkling at all to try and do this, just go get the Porsche. The Porsche Cayman, it's the cheapest car there. It's the cheapest car there. You know, it's more power than you're ever used to. You're not used to riding a track. You're gonna have more fun than you've ever done in your life. If you're into cars at all, this is gonna be the way to go. So go to the track, have some fun. You know, you can spend a couple $100. I mean, it's for a couple $100, it's 5 laps. You know, if you can spend more, the more laps, the more you're gonna have fun. But I can tell you this, when I go, I do pick the Cayman, the cheapest car they got, and there is nothing better, and I mean nothing better, than to pass a Lamborghini or Ferrari that's got twice the horsepower you do, and you move past them like there's no tomorrow, because they just don't know how to use that much power. It's just too much for the average person. So just go have a blast. Get into this. Now this is what, well, that's why the reason I bring this up, you know, I'm building this sports car now, this Importer, because my wife, you know, she got me back into racing. I street raced back in the day, but I never did the turns, you know, back and forth. You know, a fast car is for a straight line. A fast driver is for turns. And there's a big difference on that. So if you guys have all or any interest in, you know, racing or trying this, I couldn't recommend more to go to Las Vegas, do the racing experience. You know, like I said, pick the cheapest car, pick the most laps you can afford, and you're just gonna have an absolute blast. So that's my spiel. I hope you enjoyed it. You know, please like, tag, share, follow, give money to St. Jude. Please, they're phenomenal people. And we'll see you next week. Thank you.